Hey everybody, Harley here. A little bit of a change from the everyday for me. Well, I'm going to do a little bit of American politics just because it's been getting frustrating, especially lately, and I've been pretty active about it. But I just want to get some stuff off my chest here. So I want to thank you all for paying attention and listening to my ranting crap and. As you can see, I was going to say it looks like I need a new cam by the photos and the pictures, but hey, looks like I need a new face. But anyway, what I wanted to get into was the political race in the U.S. now on the Democratic side. Anyway, it's turning into kind of a crap show. As you know, there was 170 delegates trying to run for the DNC nod for the candidate to go up against Trump in November for the election. It's basically come down to Biden versus Sanders. The only reason Biden is any kind of a contender at this point is because he managed to pick up some delegates due to an endorsement and some older votes, which Sanders kind of lacks with, is the older crowd. Pardon me. And then, of course, Buttigieg and Klobuchar were told by Obama, from what we believe, to pull out and throw their support behind Biden, which they did, because, of course, the DNC and Obama, as the overlord of the DNC, the new Hillary, has deemed that Sanders is just toxic, and he will not allow the corruption to be frank, that the DNC is so cherished and embraced, much like the Republican Party. They both have their corrupt wings, and the DNC is no better than the RNC, to be frank with you all. So they did that. They got the two other competitors to go in with Biden and side with him and support him. So they're out stumbling all over their words now, doing dog and pony shows for Joe Biden, who can't put two words together, who can't do interviews with major news sources because his campaign doesn't trust him to be out in front of people talking because he's losing his mind. Joe Biden has a mental issue, and that's not me being cruel or me saying anything out of an attack. Joe Biden has done some terrible things in his life. Has nothing to do with that. The plain fact is that you can see from some of the videos that there's mental capacity waning with Joe Biden. And people have decided that is better than to have Bernie Sanders change the tax laws for the rich, or to give Medicare for all to the people, or to legalize cannabis, or to relieve student loan debt, and do things that Americans as a majority want. So you as Americans, and if you're in Canada as I am, you'll realize that this is going to affect us as well. I mean, you look at NAFTA that just got redone by Trump that will hurt Canada even more than it did in its original Bill Clinton ways. I sincerely don't believe that Sanders will let that go through. Which, I mean, if that's rewritten in a proper form, as an equal and open trade between the three countries, could be a lot better than it is now. I mean, Canada's going to approve that right now under the spineless, useless leadership of Justin Trudeau in Canada, and accept the fact that for the next 10 years, drug prices are going to go up for Canadians. That's our Canadian government doing that to us because Trump said so, and Trudeau, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here. Oh, yes. What else can I do for you? It's pathetic. Pathetic lack of leadership in this country. From the same guy who has RCMP officers out attacking Indigenous people as they protest their own rights for a pipeline that's not going to make any money to go through their land. I mean, there's so many things that we have to readdress here in this country. But I think, and we know that a large influence comes from the U.S. for other countries. I mean, they're a world power. They're a world superpower, and their economy and their trading and their manufacturing and their import and export affects us greatly. They're a monster trading partner for Canada. So new leadership, decent leadership with a Green New Deal and things of that nature could go to help people a lot. And I know that, especially in some of the Western, Alberta, for instance, in the West, you say the words Green New Deal and they're on you like white on rice. It's pathetic. But the bottom line is that a Green New Deal doesn't put people out of work. It puts people into work to transition them from coal-fired power plant jobs to green energy jobs and fossil fuel jobs into green energy jobs. That's what the whole thing does. It doesn't hurt people. It helps people and it helps the planet. So to see a Joe Biden who's getting supported by the DNC and by Barack hypocrisy Obama, who turned in from yes we can to yes sir Mr. Wall Street we can as soon as he got into the White House for 8 bloody years and completely fooled the American people, to tell Americans that Joe Biden's your best choice. You need to go with Joe Biden. And the reason for that is Joe Biden will let the rich people keep their tax breaks, and he'll make sure that the status quo stays the way it is and nothing will change. Hands up, America. Who wants nothing to change? You tell me when there's over 500,000 people going bankrupt because of medical bills that they don't want anything to change. Tell me people in their 50s and 60s who are still carrying student loan debt, they don't want anything to change. Tell people dying because they can't afford their medication, or they're halving their medication because they don't have money to buy more. Tell me that they don't want something to change. Shit's got to change, man. It's got to change, and it's got to change now. And it's not going to change under Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders will make it change, and they're afraid of him. They're terrified of him. And, I mean, I don't get a vote in that election. It's almost worth getting citizenship to do. Neil Young did it. He got his citizenship in the U.S., and you know the only damn reason he did it is to vote in this election. It's that important. So where I stand on this right now is on the side of what the people want, not on the side of money or corruption or, you know, the greed of the Wall Street bankers or Wall Street itself or the pharma industry or the medical industry at all. No, those days have got to come to an end. Those people can still make money. There's still going to be profits on Wall Street. There's still going to be profits in big pharma. They just don't have to be grotesque and be at the cost of people's lives. And that's an important thing, man. That's what's it all about. I mean, I guess, you know, capitalism is nothing but profits over people. That's all it is. On another note, I see Elizabeth Warren was on Rachel Maddow, and of course she's still attacking Bernie. So of course we know that Warren has dropped out of the race herself as well, and she hasn't chosen to endorse anyone yet. But I think it's pretty clear she's not going to endorse Bernie. I think a lot of her followers, Elizabeth Warren's followers were there almost for a different reason. You see, Elizabeth Warren's followers were there because she had the potential to be the first woman president. You know, it's a lot of people that followed Hillary, you know, and she didn't make it because of her own stupid fault. And I'm glad she didn't make it, but I mean, Trump did. So do you get the evil that masks itself really well in Hillary Clinton, or do you get the evil that just comes out and says, F you all, I'm doing whatever I want, which is Donald Trump? You know, so I guess they gambled and they lost. Winning the popular vote, of course, by 3 million. Hillary Clinton still lost to the Electoral College, which is a whole other video. But Elizabeth Warren has become a disgusting joke. She's become everything that you would ridicule in politics. She was the most popular candidate in the race, and I was behind her campaign, man. I thought she was going to do it. I was certain that she was going to be the next POTUS, you know, but all of a sudden she starts backing away, you know, and let's be frank, she got to where she was by embracing Bernie's policies. Sanders is the most popular politician in the U.S. for a reason. He is going to give the people what they want. You know, they want the health care and debt relief and cannabis and let people out of jail for these minor holding a joint crimes and that sort of thing. Decency, man. Decency is what it's all about. Decency and taking care in the richest country ever in the history of the planet. They're not giving, the people are dying because they can't have health care. It's just not right. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Warren was the front runner, and a lot of it, I'm not going to say all of it, but a lot of it was because she embraced the policies that Sanders embraced. And then she started backing off on them, and, you know, oh, in my third year of my first term, I'll start looking at the health care. I'm like, so third year of your first term, when you start campaigning for your re-election, that's when you're going to look at health care? So people started dropping off the Warren bandwagon, rightfully so. You know, she lost a lot of support to Sanders at that point, and she kept backing off of progressive policies, and F everybody, progressive is still a term. It's out there, and it means something. After that, it went to starting to lie about Bernie Sanders being a sexist, which was ridiculous. And from then till now, complaining about how mean Bernie bros are. I got to tell you, some of the trash I've been throwing from other campaigns goes way beyond what people are saying. Bernie bro was mean to me. Really? A Bernie bro was mean to me. Oh, Bernie bro. A Bernie bro. Look at a tear. There's a tear. Joe Biden supporters have called me things online and threatened to do things to me that would make you sick. So, no, the Bernie bro thing, it's... I'll tell you right now, what I firmly believe is that if the Bernie bro thing is out there in the way that people say it is violent and as horrible as it is, which I don't believe Sanders supporters are about, it's from outside sources that are sabotaging a campaign. So, I guess if you're a Canadian, embrace what you've got, you know, hope for the best. I mean, we don't have decent selections in Canada just yet. I know we've got Jagmeet Singh in the NDP, who people throw a lot of weight behind, but Jagmeet Singh was almost invisible when it came to the Indigenous protests in Canada here over the pipeline. He pointed his finger at Trudeau the whole time and ignored Horgan in BC, his own NDP people, saying in his riding, in Jagmeet Singh's riding, the leader of the NDP, his riding's in Burnaby, and Horgan comes out and slams the Indigenous people for their protests when he was the one fighting Alberta before over the pipeline. Hypocrite, scumbag. BC should vote that guy out. But Jagmeet Singh said nothing about that. Nothing. Pointed his little fingers at Trudeau the whole time. So Jagmeet Singh lost a lot of credence as far as I'm concerned with that move. I thought he was the most progressive thing that Canada had. Unfortunately, that may still be true, which says that Canada doesn't have a real progressive movement yet. So anyway, folks, that's kind of my 10 cents on the whole thing, and I know it's worth every cent you paid for it. I want to thank you all for paying attention. I hope this didn't anger anyone, you know, or get you grief. Leave your comments below. Click subscribe, hit the bell. You know, I don't drop a lot of videos that often, just kind of when they hit me. I've got another music one coming up here soon, so we're going to get back to what we do best. Anyway, folks, love ya. Hey, if you're not registered, go vote. For cripe's sakes, if you're watching this in the U.S. and you can vote in the primary, by all means do it. If you're 17 years old and you will be 18 on the time of the election in November, get out and vote. You can legally vote at 17 in the U.S. as long as you'll be 18 at the time of the election. So take care, everyone. Have a great day, and let's hope for the best.